A former NFL player has just been arrested for protesting MAGA at his local city council meeting. This is what I'm talking about. People across the country rising up, saying enough is enough because we are Americans and we stand up to kings and dictators and anyone who tells us what to do. I wish that Democrats in power would take the same example, because as Rachel Bittkoffer said here, Democrats, are you listening? Are you listening?
Tim is absolutely right on the last point. If Joe Biden had an unelected billionaire buddy of his running around cutting defense spending and things that Republicans like, there would be zero chance that Republicans would help pass a government funding bill. Zero. And you're already hearing Democrats say, well, listen, it's Republicans' responsibility to fund the government, but we want to be responsible and be at the table. I mean, it's shocking to me that Democrats seem to be indicating, or at least Democratic leaders, that they're not going to put up a fight. This is the only opportunity they have in the next 6 to 8 months where their votes are needed, where Republicans need to come to Democrats hat in hand for their participation. After March 14th, Democrats have zero leverage, zero until next year.
Democrats, I swear to God, we are not funding this government until Elon Musk gets his hands out of it. We cannot rubber stamp what is happening in our country with Elon Musk and Donald Trump taking control of federal spending, going into federal programs and agencies, cutting them without any oversight from Congress, and while defying the courts. We are not rubber stamping that. We are going to be like this man here. We are going to say enough is enough. Here's what happened here. He said they were trying to put a plaque up at a library that said MAGA on it. And here is what this gentleman did. Democrats, this is fighting.
This council does not listen, so instead I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks. MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA stands for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
Yes. Yes.
Get the heck. Get out.
Love it.
This council does not.
This is what every Democrat needs to be doing, putting their body on the line, because it's all we've got now. We are not in power. The only thing we've got is the chance to stop them by becoming more and more aggressive and getting attention. And this is one way to do it. And Kathy Hochul, governor of New York, saying, are you going to slap handcuffs on my goddamn hands? She said that of Trump after she postponed a meeting with the president following AG Pam Bondi filing a civil suit over the green light law, because Hochul is not going to pay attention to the fact that Donald Trump is trying to govern New York City. And again, this is what it looks like to stand up to a dictator wannabe. We've got to keep doing it. And folks are also standing up. Even if Congress is becoming a stalemate and not doing much of anything at all, people are rising up in Seattle, Portland, Eureka, Los Angeles, New York City, Boston, New Haven, Albany, Newark, Chicago, St. Paul, all across the country folks are rising up to protest Elon Musk and Doge and Donald Trump and their authoritarian dictator wannabe attack on our country. Here is a little bit of what New York City looked like yesterday. This has 10 million views. So many people. That's thousands of people in New York City protesting Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And here's an even wider shot of what that looked like. I don't know about you. Gives me hope. It gives me hope. And I want to end with this. I think a lot of people can feel like nihilists right now. Or feel like, why does this matter? Why does anything matter? How does this matter? It does matter. It does matter. Do you remember the massive protests that happened when Trump implemented the Muslim ban? Do you remember the resistance that came across that? Across the country, Americans rising up, saying, this isn't who we are. Let them in. Everyone is welcome here. Do you remember that? Because there was a Politico piece that came out recently that said, notes to the American people and government workers on how to stop Trump. And this is a person who says that they've seen firsthand how resistance to Donald Trump, both inside and out of the government, can stop his illegal actions. This person was a young lawyer in the National Security Division of the Justice Department in 2017. His name is Brendan Ballou. He's a former federal prosecutor. Here's the important part. My colleagues and I didn't manage to stop the travel ban from being implemented, but we did narrow its scope to a handful of countries, whereas at one point it included whole swaths of the world. Throughout public protest on the travel ban was enormously helpful. Where we might otherwise have felt like lonely voices in a bureaucracy, public outrage gave us courage and the knowledge that we were, in fact, working in the public interest. Advocacy on the outside made advocacy on the inside possible. While protesters online and in the street had no way to know it, their work was enormously influential. So this all matters. This all matters. This matters. This matters. It all makes a difference. My hope is that Democrats realize that they have to resist too. That is my hope.